The Zimbabwean government's recent announcement to compensate white farmers has actually reignited a long-standing debate about land reform, colonial injustice, and economic recovery. Dumelang Apsheni Ralwocha Sanbonani Mulweni. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. A complex and controversial issue emerging from Zimbabwe has actually caused debate, where the government has announced plans to compensate white commercial farmers whose land was seized nearly 2 decades ago. Now, this decision has understandably stirred a range of emotions and opinions, particularly regarding the historical context of land reforms in Zimbabwe. Nearly 20 years ago, after the land reform program initiated by former President Robert Mugabe, which saw the violent seizure of land from white farmers, and the government is now offering financial compensation budgeted at approximately 53 million Zimbabwean dollars.
Specifically on the matter of compensation for beef farmers, as you know, in the budget we set aside 20 million US dollars equivalent for that compensation. That's going to begin in this last quarter of the year. We've been going through a verification process. That process is now producing credible results. We know who they are not, and so forth, these claimants, so we'll be able to begin the compensation process. I mean, this is a multi-year program. It's not a one-off, so next year, the following year, again, we're able to continue with the compensation process until all the liabilities are cleared. So the same also applies to those under the global compensation deed. Also, the compensation will begin in this quarter after the verification.
A number of farmers, a few hundred farmers who are destitute, who are somewhere in a bed, in a hospital or an old age home, and who have nothing. We don't know how they will pay their medical bills at the end of this month, how they will afford their medicine. Now, because of the number of these farmers, the Zimbabwean government agreed to make what they call an interim relief payment. It's a few dollars every month, but it's not every month. We never know when that payment will come.
They say they want fair compensation for their land and have turned to the South African courts to put pressure on the Zimbabwean government.
We then decided to carry on with a delictual claim against the South African government on behalf of the farmers that we represented. And during the first half of 2019, we issued a total of 56 summonses against the South African government and President Ramaphosa in his official capacity for a delictual claim for the damages suffered by Zimbabwean farmers as a result of the deprivation of their rights. The Constitutional Court is currently tasked with this matter.
Now, this initiative is framed as a response to the financial distress faced by former white farm owners, but it raises profound questions about the legacy of colonialism and the ongoing struggles of Black Zimbabweans who were promised land and prosperity through these reforms. I mean, while acknowledging the flight of the displaced white farmers, it's vital to remember that the land redistribution was a necessary step towards redressing the historical wrongs of colonialism, which had stripped many Black Zimbabweans of their land and livelihoods. Now, compensating these very white farmers, especially for improvements made to the land while failing to fully acknowledge the injustices faced by Black farmers, feels like a betrayal of promise made to Black Zimbabweans. And many of them were left landless, impoverished. And despite the intent of the original reforms, this decision risks perpetuating a narrative that prioritizes the needs of white farmers over the rightful claims of Black citizens. Now, the context surrounding these land reforms is crucial. Mugabe's government acted in the wake of enduring colonial inequalities that left many Black Zimbabweans disenfranchised. And while the implementation of these reforms was chaotic and violent, the underlying goal was to rectify historical imbalance that had marginalized the majority. Now it's quite sad, right, that The current government under President Emmerson Mnangagwa appears to be trying to mend ties with the West by actually compensating white farmers. And this move actually raises ethical questions about who truly benefits from such economic policies. Are we witnessing a genuine attempt at reconciliation or merely a tactic to maneuver and stabilize an economy still reeling from decades of mismanagement? Now, this decision also has broader implications for Zimbabwe's social fabric. I believe that the compensation plan, which excludes compensation for land itself, only highlights the disparities that persist. And while it aims to bring closure to a painful chapter in Zimbabwe's history, it also risks ignoring the voices and rights of those who were meant to benefit from the land redistribution from the get-go. However, with that being said, I believe that the compensation for white farmers is a complex issue, and it's crucial for the government to create a framework that generally addresses the needs of all its citizens, fostering a unity and equitable growth, right? Now, with that being said, what are your thoughts in regards to this? We want to hear from you. Let's engage in the comment section and continue the conversation. And while you're at it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is goodbye for now.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Shofar Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.